Welcome to today's Lost Souls, where we bring you the most impactful and unforgettable stories from around the world. Today, we remember the lives of remarkable individuals whose legacies continue to inspire and resonate. From iconic musicians to trailblazing activists, join us as we celebrate their extraordinary contributions and bid farewell to those who have left an indelible mark on our lives. Stay tuned for a journey through their incredible stories.
Jerry Connelly. Jerry Connelly was not a household name to the general public, but within the world of sports broadcasting and behind-the-scenes television production, he was a revered and respected figure. As a longtime producer, director, and technical coordinator, Jerry's career spanned over 40 years of transforming how live events, particularly sports, were brought to life on screen. Born in 1945 in Cleveland, Ohio, Jerry grew up with a deep love for both sports and storytelling. He was the kind of kid who would rather listen to a baseball game on the radio than play it himself, fascinated by how emotion and intensity could be conveyed through sound alone. That early fascination led him to study communications and media at Ohio University, where he began experimenting with cameras, editing reels, and live production. His professional journey began at a local television station where he started as a camera operator. He quickly worked his way up the ranks due to his uncanny ability to anticipate dramatic moments and make split-second decisions that enhanced the viewing experience. In the 1980s, Jerry moved into network television, joining the production teams for major sports coverage including NFL, MLB, and NCAA games. He eventually became a key figure at CBS Sports, where he oversaw many iconic Super Bowl broadcasts. Jerry's colleagues remembered him as someone who was always calm under pressure, no small feat in the world of live television. When the unexpected happened, whether it was a power outage, a missed cue, or a critical camera failure, Jerry was the one people turned to. He was known for his mantra, "The audience doesn't know what went wrong, only how you fix it." And he always fixed it. He was a mentor to dozens of young professionals entering the field, many of whom credit him with teaching them not only the technical skills of the job but also the heart and integrity it required. Jerry believed that great broadcasting wasn't about showing off, it was about respect for the audience and the story being told. Away from the production truck, Jerry was a devoted family man. He loved spending time with his grandchildren, teaching them how to use a camera, or simply watching games and explaining the work behind the scenes. He was also a passionate supporter of youth media programs and volunteered regularly to help underprivileged kids gain access to film and TV education. Jerry Connelly may never have sought the spotlight, but his work made sure the spotlight shone brightly on others. His impact will live on in every perfectly framed touchdown, every dramatic replay, and every young producer inspired by his legacy. Joe Biden. Joe Biden, the 46th President of the United States, left behind a legacy marked by resilience, compassion, and decades of service to the American people. Passed away at the age of 82, from a young senator from Delaware to the highest office in the land, Biden's life was one of extraordinary highs and devastating lows, yet through it all, he remained a symbol of endurance and hope. Born on November 20, 1942, in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. grew up in a working-class family where his father instilled the value of hard work and dignity. The family later moved to Delaware, where Biden's political story would begin. Despite facing a stutter in his early years, Biden found his voice through perseverance, a trait that would define his entire life. He entered politics in the early 1970s and, in 1972, at just 29 years old, became one of the youngest people ever elected to the U.S. Senate. But just weeks after that triumph, tragedy struck. His wife Nylia and baby daughter Naomi were killed in a car accident, and his two sons were badly injured. Devastated yet determined to serve, Biden famously took the Senate oath at his son's hospital bedside and began commuting daily from Delaware to Washington, a routine that earned him the nickname Amtrak Joe. Biden served in the Senate for over 3 decades, becoming known for his foreign policy expertise, bipartisan efforts, and his commitment to the middle class. He played critical roles in key legislation and chaired both the Judiciary and Foreign Relations Committees. His second major political chapter came in 2008, when then-Senator Barack Obama selected him as his running mate. As vice president, Biden was a trusted advisor and friend to Obama. The two shared a uniquely close partnership, and Biden's empathy and authenticity resonated with millions of Americans. Together, they helped lead the country through the Great Recession and passed landmark legislation like the Affordable Care Act. In 2020, amid a divided nation and global pandemic, Biden launched a comeback many had thought impossible. Campaigning on the themes of unity and decency, he defeated incumbent President Donald Trump and took office in January 2021. His presidency focused on pandemic recovery, infrastructure, global diplomacy, and restoring the soul of the nation. Despite the immense political pressure and personal losses, including the death of his beloved son Beau, Biden never lost his faith in America or in its people. His life was a living example of how empathy and endurance can overcome even the darkest of times. Joe Biden will be remembered not only as a president, but as a father, a fighter, and a voice for the voiceless. His impact on American politics and the human spirit will endure for generations. Jim Irsay passed away at the age of 64. Jim Irsay, owner and CEO of the Indianapolis Colts, left a distinct mark on the NFL and professional sports. Known for his deep ties to football and unpredictable nature, passed away at the age of 64, Irsay's journey was shaped by both family legacy and personal struggles. Born on June 13, 1959, in Lincolnwood, Illinois, Jim was the son of Robert Irsay, who bought the Colts in the early 1970s. Growing up around the team, football became a central part of Jim's life. After studying journalism at Southern Methodist University, he began working with the Colts in various roles, gaining experience and preparing for leadership. In 1997, following the death of his father, Jim became the youngest NFL owner at the time. Many questioned his ability to lead, but he quickly made clear he had a vision for the team. Under his leadership, the Colts transformed. He hired coach Tony Dungy, drafted quarterback Peyton Manning, and built a team that consistently reached the playoffs. In 2006, the Colts won Super Bowl 41, bringing the franchise its first championship since moving to Indianapolis. Jim's relationship with players, coaches, and fans was often personal. He wasn't just an owner, he was present, vocal, and often emotional about the team. His decisions weren't always popular, but they often reflected his belief in loyalty and bold action. Letting go of Manning in 2012 to draft Andrew Luck was one of the toughest calls he ever made. Outside of football, Jim was known for his passion for music and collecting. His collection included historic instruments, manuscripts, and memorabilia. He frequently loaned pieces for public display and supported music and mental health causes through donations. Jim faced challenges, especially with addiction. His public battle with substance abuse led to legal issues and a brief suspension from the NFL in 2014. He acknowledged these struggles, entered rehab, and later spoke about mental health, trying to reduce stigma and encourage others to seek help. Jim Irsay's legacy is complex. He built a winning team, modernized a franchise, and showed that leadership isn't always polished, but it can be driven by heart. His openness about his flaws made him relatable to many fans. Robert Irsay. Robert Irsay, the former owner of the NFL's Indianapolis Colts, was a larger-than-life figure whose decisions shaped not just a franchise but also stirred controversy across the league. Passed away at the age of 73, his legacy, forever linked to the emotional move of the Colts from Baltimore to Indianapolis, remains one of the most debated chapters in NFL history. Born on March 5, 1923, in Chicago, Robert Irsay grew up during the Great Depression, learning the value of hard work early. He built his fortune in the heating and air conditioning business, founding the Robert Irsay Company, and turning it into a successful venture. With a keen eye for opportunity and a fiercely independent spirit, Irsay transitioned into sports ownership in the 1970s, entering the NFL in dramatic fashion. In 1972, Irsay orchestrated a rare and complicated ownership swap. He purchased the Los Angeles Rams but immediately traded franchises with Carroll Rosenbloom to take control of the Baltimore Colts. His leadership style was often volatile, marked by abrupt decisions and strained relationships with coaches, players, and the media. Yet, he was undeniably passionate about his team. The defining moment of Irsay's tenure came in March 1984. Amid growing tensions with Baltimore city officials over a new stadium deal and years of frustration, Irsay made the controversial choice to relocate the franchise to Indianapolis. The move, executed overnight using Mayflower moving trucks under police protection, shocked the sports world. While Baltimore fans mourned the loss, Indianapolis celebrated the arrival of its first major professional sports franchise. Irsay had taken a gamble, and despite criticism, he had succeeded in giving Indianapolis a seat at the national sports table. Under his ownership, the Colts struggled with consistency on the field, but Irsay remained a committed and vocal presence. His son, Jim Irsay, began working closely with him during these years, learning the ropes of NFL ownership. Robert's later years were affected by health issues, including strokes that impaired his ability to run the team. Robert Irsay passed away in 1997, and his son Jim took over the franchise. Though often seen as brash and unpredictable, Robert Irsay was a figure of transformation. He reshaped NFL geography, stirred deep emotions among fans, and left behind a complex legacy of risk, ambition, and change. Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning will forever be remembered as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever grace the field. His name was synonymous with precision, passed away at the age of 47. Leadership, and relentless preparation, a football mind so sharp, it redefined how the quarterback position was played. From his record-breaking NFL seasons to his role as a beloved mentor and sports icon, Peyton's legacy is etched into the very fabric of American football. Born on March 24, 1976, in New Orleans, Louisiana, Peyton was destined for greatness. He was the son of former NFL quarterback Archie Manning, and from an early age, Peyton displayed a natural affinity for the game. At Isidore Newman School, he dazzled scouts with his arm strength, poise, and ability to read defenses. Choosing to attend the University of Tennessee, he quickly became one of college football's brightest stars, setting multiple SEC records and winning countless accolades. In 1998, he was selected as the number 1 overall pick by the Indianapolis Colts, a franchise that had struggled to find its footing. Peyton didn't just bring talent, he brought hope. His arrival marked the beginning of a new era. His meticulous film study, command at the line of scrimmage, and near-obsessive work ethic transformed the Colts into perennial contenders. Over the years, he became known for his no-huddle offense and audible-heavy playstyle, an extension of his genius on the field. During his time with the Colts, Peyton led the team to 2 Super Bowl appearances and secured a championship in Super Bowl 41. He earned 5 NFL MVP awards, more than any other player in history, and broke records for career passing touchdowns and yardage. But beyond the stats, he was a unifying force, a leader in the locker room, and a role model for younger players. After a serious neck injury in 2011, many thought Peyton's career was over. But in a dramatic second act, he signed with the Denver Broncos and once again defied expectations. He shattered single-season records and led the team to victory in Super Bowl 50, riding off into the sunset on top of the game. Off the field, Peyton was just as impactful. He was a philanthropist, a media personality, and an ambassador for the sport he loved. He raised millions for children's hospitals, mentored aspiring athletes, and remained active in community initiatives across the country. His humor, humility, and intelligence made him beloved beyond the gridiron. Peyton Manning's passing is not just the loss of a football legend, it is the departure of a cultural icon whose influence will resonate for generations. His story is one of resilience, brilliance, and class. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was not just a boxing legend, he was a symbol of strength, resilience, and unshakable conviction. Known as the greatest, Ali's story transcends sports. Passed away at the age of 74, his voice thundered inside the ring with his fists and outside it with his courage, leaving behind a legacy that changed the world. Born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. on January 17, 1942, in Louisville, Kentucky, young Ali first stepped into a boxing gym at age 12, angry after his bike had been stolen. That moment sparked a fire that would burn for the rest of his life. By 18, he had claimed gold in the 1960 Rome Olympics. Soon after, he turned professional, launching one of the most extraordinary careers in boxing history. In 1964, at just 22 years old, he stunned the world by defeating Sonny Liston to become the heavyweight champion of the world. Shortly afterward, he made another bold move, announcing his conversion to Islam and changing his name to Muhammad Ali. His spiritual transformation marked the beginning of a new identity, one grounded in pride, purpose, and defiance against societal norms. Ali's refusal to be drafted into the Vietnam War in 1967 was a defining moment of his life. Stripped of his title and banned from boxing for over 3 years, he stood firm in his beliefs, saying, "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong." Though he lost prime years of his career, Ali's stand earned him global respect as a symbol of conscience and civil rights. When he returned to the ring, it wasn't just about titles, it was about proving that principle matters. His epic bouts against Joe Frazier, George Foreman, and Ken Norton became the stuff of legend. The Rumble in the Jungle and the Thrilla in Manila weren't just fights, they were global events where Ali's heart, strategy, and iron will electrified millions. Ali officially retired in 1981 but never left the spotlight. He became a humanitarian, using his fame to champion peace, equality, and support for those with Parkinson's disease, a condition he bravely battled for over 30 years. Muhammad Ali wasn't just a boxer. He was a revolutionary. His words and actions ignited change, empowered the oppressed, and taught the world that greatness isn't just about talent, it's about courage.
Aurora Clavel. Aurora Clavel was a beloved Mexican actress whose captivating performances in both film and television left a lasting imprint on Latin American cinema. With a career that spanned over 5 decades, Aurora became a symbol of grace, authenticity, and quiet strength in an industry where longevity is rare and respect even rarer. Her roles often reflected the heart of Mexican culture, its resilience, its sorrows, and its beauty. Aurora was born on August 9, 1939, in the state of Oaxaca, a place known for its rich indigenous roots and vibrant artistic traditions. Her upbringing in this culturally layered environment influenced her deeply, and she carried that spirit into every performance. From her earliest days in theater to her iconic appearances in golden-era Mexican cinema, Aurora's work spoke for the ordinary people, the mothers, the workers, the wise elders, whose lives form the backbone of every society. She began her professional acting career in the 1960s and quickly rose to prominence with standout roles in films like Pedro Páramo and Los Caifanes, where her emotional depth and naturalistic acting caught the attention of critics and audiences alike. Her ability to convey profound feeling with just a glance or a pause made her a favorite among directors who valued substance over spectacle. Aurora Clavel was perhaps best known for her work in telenovelas, a medium in which she truly flourished. She played matriarchs, healers, and moral anchors in stories that reached millions across Latin America. Her presence on screen was always comforting and commanding, making her a staple in homes from Mexico to Argentina. Her portrayals helped shape how women of dignity and strength were seen on screen, opening the door for more nuanced female characters in Latin television. Off-screen, Aurora was a passionate advocate for indigenous rights and cultural preservation. She often used her platform to highlight the struggles of rural communities in Mexico, particularly those facing poverty and displacement. She supported numerous initiatives aimed at protecting indigenous languages and traditions, and she never forgot her roots in Oaxaca. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was steady, and it carried weight. As she aged, Aurora remained active in the arts, often appearing in character roles that highlighted her seasoned skill and quiet power. Even in her final years, she brought an air of dignity and authenticity that few could replicate. Aurora Clavel's passing marks the end of an era, but her legacy will endure through the roles she played and the lives she touched. She was more than just an actress, she was a cultural bridge, a storyteller of the soul, and a beloved daughter of Mexico. Samuel French. Samuel French was not a single person but the name behind a legendary publishing house that forever changed the landscape of American theater. The man himself, Samuel French Sr., established the company in 1830, and over nearly 2 centuries, the name Samuel French became synonymous with the licensing and publishing of plays, serving as a gateway for thousands of playwrights to reach audiences around the world. Samuel French Incorporated became the heartbeat of the dramatic arts, giving a platform to both rising and established voices in theater. From high school productions to Broadway debuts, their catalogs carried works that defined eras. Plays by Tennessee Williams, Arthur Miller, Neil Simon, and countless others found their homes under the French banner. The company didn't just print scripts, it preserved stories, immortalized performances, and made theater accessible to the masses. The man behind it all, Samuel French Sr., was born in the early 19th century. A visionary, he understood the need for centralized distribution of theatrical scripts at a time when American drama was still finding its identity. His idea was simple yet revolutionary: to publish plays and license performance rights in a way that encouraged legal, accessible theatrical production nationwide. What began as a small shop in New York eventually expanded to London and beyond. Under the leadership of the French family and later industry veterans, the company grew into a theatrical institution. Playwrights trusted Samuel French to not only publish their work but protect it, support it, and share it. Aspiring actors and directors, whether in school auditoriums or community theaters, often found their first real stage experience through a script published by French. Though Samuel French Sr. passed away over a century ago, his name endured far beyond his lifetime. In 2018, Samuel French Incorporated was acquired by Concord Theatricals, ensuring the preservation of its incredible catalog and its continued support for theatrical artists globally. His impact, creating a bridge between creators and audiences, remains at the core of modern stagecraft. Today, the name Samuel French still appears on the covers of scripts and in the footnotes of playbills, a quiet yet powerful tribute to a man who believed stories were meant to be shared, performed, and remembered.